Hey everybody, this is Coach Bill. Hope everybody's having a great Wednesday so far. Here in the Valley, Temecula Valley and Marietta Valley area, we're hot. I think we're over 100 degrees today. Guys, I wanted to get on today and talk about a topic that I don't think is talked about much. Let me get my notes here situated. Anyway, it's the topic today is about apple cider vinegar. Now, those of you that have been following me know that Emily and I have an online personal coaching that we do. In the last few years, you've been hearing me talk about pre-diabetes, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver, imbalance hormones, and so forth as being root causes to many medical issues out there, plus weight loss issues, or for those of you that are 40 over, belly fat issues. Heard me talk a lot about that. And when it comes to prediabetes and type 2 diabetes and fatty livers, this is one subject that's very important to you guys. And you need to understand how powerful apple cider vinegar is on a daily basis. And that's why the topic is called the healing powers of apple cider vinegar, especially for those of you with prediabetes, type 2 diabetes. And also those of you that are 40 over, because, guys, it's not just one thing that's going to help reverse your issue. It's a multiple of different things that you have to do. And that's what we do when somebody signs up for our online personal coaching, is we educate them. That's what we are. We're educators, because you need to know why it works or why you're doing it. Okay. And so with apple cider vinegar, this is one of my protocols that I introduced to my pre-diabetes and type 2 diabetics and those with fatty livers. Is a must because of the science backing what I am about to say. Now, I'm going to do like I do all the rest of them, guys. I'm going to be doing a blog post. I'm going to put all the science in that blog post. I'm not going to go through all the science on my notes here. I'm just going to go through the bullet points and give you an idea of the benefits and the time when you should be taking apple cider vinegar. I'm noticing that more and more people are doing this, so apparently they're seeing the research themselves and they're understanding the importance of it on a daily basis, especially with the environmental toxins being so bad each and every day. I mean, you keep getting worse and worse. I mean, the environmental toxins in the water you drink and the food you eat and the air you're breathing is so bad that you need to help your body fight all this off. But anyway, guys, I'm also today is a fat coffee, and my menu for my fat coffee today is coconut cream. Honestly, to be honest, I like the taste of coconut cream in my coffee. I do 1 tablespoon. It helps add more fat to my daily diet. And those of you that follow me know that we promote primal eating, which you know is keto, and we combine it with intermittent and prolonged fasting along with the hydrogen-rich water. But in order to boost my ketones up, there's certain fats that really escalated, and one of them is coconut cream. And honestly, I'm trying to stay away from dairy as much as possible, but I really like lattes with heavy cream in it as part of my fat coffees. But honestly, I really do like coconut cream as much. It kind of tastes the same, yet I don't have the dairy issue with that. I'm not sensitive to dairy at all, but it's just that if I could eliminate more dairy out of my diet and not do so much of it, then that's great. Okay, well, let's get back to the topic now. So the benefits of apple cider vinegar added to your daily routine if you're pre-diabetic, or if you're a type 2 diabetic, or if you have a fatty liver, or even if you're overweight and you got some body fat around your waist. it's actually apple cider vinegar is shown by science to be the best time to be doing this is not only with your meal. You can put it in your, mix it with your salads. I do it with, I make my Primal Keto coleslaw. I have apple cider vinegar in it. But also when you guys are traveling, now this is interesting and I've never heard of this, but there's some science articles showing that when you're traveling, stress plays a big part when you're traveling. If you're in a plane for a long period of time, even if you have to wear a mask, you guys know that research is showing that masks don't really work that well when the particles are so small they can get into the mask of either bacteria or certain viruses can get through them. But the apple cider vinegar has a probiotic effect which helps the gut. And you guys know that if you do, 80% of your immune system is in your gut, and that's how you're going to prevent or even lessen the issues of getting some type of virus, like the COVID virus or the flu or something like that. But when you're traveling, your body's under a lot of stress, so the cortisol level is actually risen high. So they're saying that apple cider vinegar, take a couple tablespoons just before you leave for your trip, and then when you get to the destination you're going to, do another couple tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and it has a great effect on cortisol, lowering the stress levels, which actually will help in keeping your gut healthy also. Another way to drink apple cider vinegar is your first or second glass of water first thing in the morning to set your day off. Apple cider vinegar has a lot of different properties that it affects in your body, and I'll go over those in a second. But having it first thing in the morning, for example, what I do, I'll have my first glass of water will be 20 ounces of hydrogen-rich water, a quarter teaspoon of sea salt. I'll go ahead and make my coffee, and then I'll have another 12 to 20 ounces of water with 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. That's pretty much starts my day. I also will do apple cider vinegar just before I leave for the gym, and I have 2 tablespoons just before I leave for the gym and 20 ounces of water. I do sometimes 3 tablespoons. I do apple cider vinegar 3 times a day. Sometimes. I always do it before I go to the gym, though. Also, another advantage, which is science. This is all science-based, and the science will be with the post. Another great advantage, especially for those of you with type 2 diabetes or pre-diabetes, and when you wake up in the morning, you notice that your blood sugars are always going to be higher. Well, that's natural. The body just naturally does that. As soon as you wake up in the morning, the body starts to get ready for the day, and it needs energy to get started, right? So the body is always going to be producing glucose, which is sugar, which is going to be dumped into the blood to help to go to the cells to get things rolling and going. So that's just natural. But the issues with pre-diabetics and type 2 diabetics is their insulin resistance, and there's too much blood sugar. Well, apple cider vinegar at night will actually help to regulate that blood sugar, so when you wake up in the morning, it won't be so pronounced, or it won't be so high. It actually will start helping to regulate your blood sugar. Science, I actually posted the science on this blog post also. Now, this is a trick that Emily and I has that works very, very well. When we go to a family event or a birthday party with some family members' birthday parties, and say they have food that's highly starchy foods that we normally don't eat, or cake and ice cream. Now Emily makes her own kombucha, which is similar to apple cider vinegar. Kombucha has a little more properties in it. It has a very strong digestive enzyme to help digest the food after we eat, because I always take about 6 ounces of kombucha right after I'm done eating a main meal. Apple cider vinegar basically do the same thing, but not as powerful. So I do both. But but those of you that don't have kombucha, it has to be homemade. That store bought is crap. That store bought is processed. It's full of crap, and it's not. It's actually causing more issues than it is doing you good. So the next best thing, obviously, if you don't have homemade kombucha, is going to be the apple cider vinegar. So after you have some really starchy foods, pastas or breads or something you've had for a meal, or cake and ice cream, as soon as you get home, have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar in your in a glass of water, and that's going to help regulate that insulin spike, because you guys know that follow me that starchy foods, starchy hard processed foods and refined sugars will cause your insulin to spike, which is the hormone known to store fat. So what the apple cider vinegar is going to bring it back down to normal, and that's what you want, especially if you're a pre-diabetic or a type 2 diabetic. But on my online personal coaching diabetic plan, sorry, for the first 12 weeks you can't have any of that stuff until we get your blood sugar regulated and consistent at a healthy level. And so that kind of gives you an idea of the different times that you can have apple cider vinegar. Now, what are some of the benefits of apple cider vinegar? I've just listed a few here. Obviously, there's more than what I've listed here, but the ones that I think that you might be interested in. The first and most important one for those of you with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, or you were diagnosed with fatty liver, is it helps to lower wake-up cholesterol levels. So my experience and with my clients that I've seen now in the last few years, that it stands to be true. And like I said, I have science to back this up. So it stands to be true that when somebody is consistent with the diabetic protocols that I have, the eating plans and the time they're eating, and plus drinking the hydrogen-rich water, that's true. The glucose levels start to drop. And so, you might wake up, I'll give you an example. A couple of clients will maybe have a 142 or 130 or 126 wake up glucose level. And then over time, after being on the protocols, and doesn't take long, they might wake up at 102 or 103 or 105 and then go back down to below 100. That's where I'd like to see them. Not just me. This is what Dr. Jason Fund follows too. He's one of the top kidney specialists, I think, that has promoted the primal or keto lifestyle and has helped many of his patients for decades reverse type 2 diabetes and pre-diabetes, and is now teaching other doctors the natural way of reversing type 2 diabetes and also getting off their medication. Okay. Number 2, helps to regulate blood sugars. I told you about your wake up, but it also during the day. It actually will help to regulate your blood sugar throughout the day as well. It helps, and I showed you this, it helps to control insulin spikes when you do have high starchy foods or some kind of a high carb meal or sweets. It does help with that. It also is known to act as a thermogenic while you're sleeping. So by doing apple cider vinegar at night, just about an hour before you go to bed, it actually helps metabolize fat more or less, and helps to acts like a thermogenic while you're sleeping and you're burning fat more. And plus, it has, as far as sleeping wise, it has a lot more benefits. Guys, it also part of this whole picture. Oh, how many times you've heard me talk about this? Unhealthy gut give you unhealthy brains. But anyway, your gut needs to be healthy, and apple cider vinegar plays a big part in that. Apple cider vinegar also helps with losing fat loss. Helps with fat loss. So that's something you guys, I'm sure, would like to know. Another thing is, for us seniors, we like this, anti-aging and many more benefits. So apple cider vinegar helps with anti-aging. That's a big factor for us seniors. Question is, can apple cider vinegar cause weight loss? Well, research is showing that apple cider vinegar helps with thermogenic fat burning. It also depresses the appetite. So just think about that. If you're drinking, say during the day, say so for me, you know, my protocol is I'm really into alternate day fasting. Although, you know, even on my non-fasting days, I'm basically fasting, but I don't eat my first meal until 12, right after I work out at the gym. Well, if I wake up in the mornings, you know, I'm sure some of you have woke up in the morning and you're hungry, right? Well, just think about this. What's the first thing that most of you do if you have breakfast at 8 or 9, right? Okay, well, you're putting food in your body, right? So, but I'm not going to eat my first meal till 12. What if I wake up in the morning hungry? I'm probably not hungry. I'm probably more dehydrated and thirsty. But anyway, for this article here, but I wake up in the morning and I'm hungry, and if I'm having something that depresses my appetite, then I'm not going to be hungry, right? So I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to consume any calories. So there's going to be a calorie deficit, which means where's my body going to get the energy or the calories it needs to go through the day? It's going to go from my stored fat cells. That's where it's going to get it because I'm fat adapted. Okay, and you've heard me talk about this many times. So it helps depress the appetite. If I have a glass of if I have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar before I go to the gym around 10:30 or 11 in the morning, it depresses my appetite. If I go to bed at night, say I have an early dinner around 3 or 4, and I go to bed at 10. Well, what if I have have you ever felt yourself being hungry at night before you go to bed? Of course you have. What do? So if you have 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar with some sea salt just before you go to bed, an hour or so, it's going to depress the appetite. So of course it's going to help you lose weight. That's a no-brainer, and that's what the science is saying. Okay. Now this is interesting, and you know, some of my keto recipes I have in my cookbook, I'm actually using apple cider vinegar as one of the ingredients in there, not knowing. See, this is why it's so important to do continual education, because even as many years as Emily and I have been in the health industry, we're learning something every single day. I mean, there's all kinds of new science coming out. It's kind of crazy, but I was putting apple cider vinegar as one of the ingredients in my recipes, but not actually knowing why. Well, now I've got 3 articles, scientific articles, including an article by the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition stating that one of the best times to consume apple cider vinegar as far as health, to just add more health to the gut, add more and cause thermogenic or the metabolism to get boosted, is during the meal. I had no idea. So I was doing something not knowing why I was doing it and how it was benefiting me. Okay, so now that coleslaw that I make with apple cider vinegar is going to even be better, even look better to me than before. And besides, my keto primal coleslaw is phenomenal. It tastes really, really good, and it's in my recipe book. Okay, now there's also, I put in there the scientific case studies for you diabetics out there, pre or type 2 diabetics. And this goes for you guys with fatty livers, and this goes for those of you got you're 50 over and you've got a belly fat and it's really hard to get off. So this goes toward you also. But in the American, now this is not me talking, guys. This is science. This is not me. So I'm going to read it to you. This is the American Diabetes Association. This is the title of the actual research. It says here, another study from the Diabetes Care found that vinegar ingestions at bedtime moderates waking glucose concentrations in adults with well-controlled type 2 diabetes. So that just reinforced what I said the first time about how apple cider vinegar being taken at night will actually help your waking up glucose levels. So this is actual science. Also, there's another article in the International Journal of American Research and Science that actually talks about apple cider vinegar and glycemic control, okay, which means this particular scientific research talks about, again, what I said previously, how if you have a very high starchy meal, say pastas and breads and or dessert or cake or ice cream or something that's going to cause you to have an insulin spike, especially for those of you with type 2 diabetes. This is very important that you have to control those spikes because that's the root cause of why you're having such an issue. Well, this scientific research shows how it's able to control higher glycemic, and I hope you diabetics know what that means, but higher glycemic foods, it helps to regulate them and drop them to a nice, healthy level. That's just fascinating to me that all this stuff is out there, but yet most doctors aren't educating their diabetic patients about natural foods, how it can reverse type 2 diabetes. Now, like I said, it's not just one thing that's going to help reverse it. It's an accumulation of all kinds of stuff, okay? Also, I have articles here about, remember I was talking about fat burning? Well, there's actually articles, I put them in, they're from PubMed, and there's a process that when apple cider vinegar is introduced as a daily routine, there's a process that happens. It's called AMPK. And what that means is that AMPK is being elevated. This is a body's natural environment, is being elevated in the liver, increases fat oxidation, or what they call fat burning. Vinegar increases AMPK in the liver and in the fat cells. Think about this. Here I have, there's actually 2 research case studies I've put here. So you're taking apple cider vinegar. Science here is telling us that it increases fat oxidation in the liver and in the fat cells. So they're talking about your own stored fat cells. So if you're taking apple cider vinegar at night, every night, I do 2 tablespoons. You guys may have to work up to that. Some of you may have to start off at a half a tablespoon, work yourself up to 1 tablespoon, then work yourself up to 2 tablespoons twice a day. I don't recommend any more than 3 times a day. I can do 3 times a day because I've been doing this for a long, long time. But I don't recommend doing it more than that. You don't have to do more than that. More is not always better, guys. Just because it says here, apple cider vinegar helps with fat oxidation in your own stored body fat doesn't mean you can drink a whole quart of it. No, you will have effects from that. That's not good. But you do it twice a day. That's perfect. It's all you need to do. But just think about this. My primal meals or keto meals, combining them with intermittent fasting and prolonged fasting, both of these are known to help burn fat, body fat, your own body fat, as well as the fat from your food, along with the hydrogen-rich water, which is also known for fat loss and to help keep you hydrated at the cellular level. By doing all this and then adding the apple cider vinegar, do you think maybe you might escalate things? Well, according to science, that seems to be kind of true, right? So kind of think about that. Now, this blog post, like all the rest of my YouTube videos, will be in the description section of my YouTube. You can go to my YouTube channel, type in Bill Mabry, subscribe to it. You can look this particular one up, apple cider vinegar, and if you go on look at the description section, you can click on to the blog post, and you could actually read the science, and there's more specific. You can also go to my Weight Loss Made Easy Solution Facebook group page. I have a lot of videos in there and articles in there. Plus, you'll get some of my fat burning recipes also. So that plays a big part. Apple cider vinegar helps to activate or increase AMPK, which is an environment known as fat oxidation of your fat cells. Now, in conclusion, this is probably one of the most important parts of this whole article, and this is something that I don't really hear anybody talking about. I do hear them talk about it a little bit, but no one's talking about it at all. I mean, no one's really talking about it as in respect to what's going on today with this COVID-19. I don't know why more and more health professionals aren't. I just heard doctors, and I've heard some of Donald Trump's people talk about how important the immune system is. The people that are having the biggest issues have depressed immune system. I'm hearing this all the time, but yet they don't give you, okay, if the people are having such an issue with depressed immune system, then what can we do about it? So they're talking about the negative end of it, how bad their immune system is, but they don't tell the people this is how you fix it, and medication isn't going to fix it. No medication is going to fix the immune system. You got to completely change your lifestyle. You got to change what you eat. You got to change the time you eat, and you got to change the type of water you're drinking, because you can't be drinking bottled water that's contaminated. And science has been telling you guys this for a long time, but nobody's listening. They just think they're immune to it because the plastic particles and causing the body to be acidic, and that's causing the immune system to be depressed, on top of the environmental toxins. That's causing the immune system to be depressed. And all the processed crappy foods you guys are eating, that's causing the immune system. So you're dumping all these toxic chemicals into your body, depressing the immune system. The body cannot keep up with it. So you have to help it. Well, apple cider vinegar, plus not only apple cider vinegar, but those of you that are making your own kombucha, remember, kombucha is above apple cider vinegar. It's more powerful. And if you don't have kombucha, the next best thing is apple cider vinegar. But even that, homemade kefir is another way to boost the gut. That's what I'm getting to here. Health professionals just aren't really focusing on probably one of the biggest root causes of a depressed immune system, if not the main root cause. In my mind, it's the main root cause, is that sick gut is causing your depressed immune system. If 80% of your immune system is in your gut, and you have a sick gut, what does that make your immune system? Okay? Now, the doctors on TV are talking about COVID-19 and the immune system. They keep telling that the people, they keep saying it over and over again, but yet I guess you guys just don't see it. That a depressed immune system is causing the issues of people dying. So why not boost your immune system up now? Why wait until you get sick and then start boosting it up? No. Do it now. And how do you do that? Well, you do that by doing what? Changing the type of food you're eating. Combine it with intermittent and prolonged fasting. Stop drinking the toxic water you're drinking. Drink hydrogen-rich water, which is known by science as the most powerful molecule on the planet to help feed. It's an antioxidant, which what? It feeds the immune system. It feeds the gut. You got to reverse your sick gut. You got tons and tons of sick bacteria in your gut. You got to get good gut bacteria in the liner of your gut in order to bring your immune system up. It's really that simple. It really is. But I don't know. People just don't get it. So anyway, the conclusion to this video is work on your gut to be more healthy by doing the things that I just talked about, and then you will see your life completely change. Completely change. And those of you that are pre-diabetic or type 2 diabetic, or if you were diagnosed with a fatty liver, or if you're 50 plus and you've got all that belly fat, you know what? Message me and I will send you the information on my online personal coaching. You guys can go to my YouTube channel, check me out, or go to my Weight Loss Media Solution Facebook group page, join it, and you'll see the science. Because I don't want to say anything that's not backed by science, guys. Besides, I'm not a doctor, but Emily and I have years and years and years of research and documentation under our belts. And so all the information I'm telling you is accumulated over years that are being backed by science, okay? So you guys, that's my video for today. I hope you saw some value in it. And you know what? We'll see you guys at the next video. You guys have a great day.